Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Hakuoki Kyoto wins, and today we are starting Ichikata's route. And now, technically I could just do new game and go from there, but we're just going to start in the prologue, because we said we were going to start and read the whole entire game through, so I'm going to read the prologue through too. So, and Ichikata, and we're going to do high romance. Yes. So here you guys go. You're welcome. Yes, because we're starting at the prologue. So, names, characters, business, places, events, and incidents mentioned in this work do not have any direct... Well, you know. Would you like to skip the prologue? No. We'll do the prologue because we said we'd start the whole game, so we'll do the whole thing. It's like, you already did this shit, and you're like, I know, we're going to do the whole thing over again. So, prepare for this shit. That's true, because then they also, like, find out and we're running from the monster, and we need that. We need the whole thing, because we're reading the whole fucking game, so no skipping, Spacey. So this is Kyoto. It was awfully impressive, no denying it. Even simple hellos between people passing in the street seemed warm and friendly. They nodded and smiled to one another, as if family and not strangers about on errands. Still, there was something else as well. Something making the city feel strangely cold. Almost as though there was a great invisible wall, shutting out anyone wandering from the country. Not sure if I belong here. Now that's all in my head. I walked quite some distance to reach Kyoto, and both my mind and body were exhausted. Even so, tiredness was no reason to meander and feel sorry for myself. I couldn't afford to. Excuse me. I hesitantly stopped a passerby. I'm sorry, I seem to be a bit lost. Could you... What am I supposed to do now? I was lost again, but in a different sort of way. I sighed and looked up at the darkening sky. The sun was beginning to set. People I'd spoken to showed me no unkindness, and they'd given me directions I'd needed, but was now really the best time to leave the city? Learning the person I'd hoped to visit had left town caused hope to seep from my crumbling resolve. The only person besides father I could rely on in the city... who I could rely on. Oh, Tim, I forgot. See, this is why you read it all over again. Because you forget that Tim is a dickhole. Tim, the terrible typist, entering. Anyway. The only person besides father I could rely on in the city was Dr. Masumoto. Dr. Masumoto was a doctor serving the shogunate. I'd never met him myself, but my father put a great deal of trust in the man. He had told me that if I ran into any trouble in his absence, I was to contact Dr. Masumoto. Fortunately, Dr. Masumoto was out on business and would not return for some time. Was I too hasty? Perhaps I should have waited. It is indeed rude to visit without warning, which is why I'd sent a letter prior to my arrival. But it seems he had left before reading my letter. Perhaps, I thought, I should have waited for a reply before traveling to an unfamiliar city. Smart girl is smart. But I can no longer spend time waiting idly for news. Oh, the green days where we started this game and we knew nothing of what was going to happen. Spacey. Is something wrong, Father? He pauses for a moment and looked at me. Seems I must depart for the city of Kyoto. Is it for business again? He left the house often during that period, sometimes for days at a time. How long will you be gone? I'm afraid I can't say. A month, perhaps, maybe 2. Oh. There was no hiding my disappointment. Nonetheless, I wasn't a child anymore. I couldn't beg him not to go, or some other foolishness. Yes, I'd be lonely, but I was much more worried for him. Please, Father, be careful. They say the city of Kyoto is dangerous. He only smiled and nodded. You needn't fret. I'll be sure to send you letters often, so that you'll have no need to worry. Okay, you promise? Father kept his promise. A new letter arrived so often I scarcely had time to respond before another would arrive. He told me that he worried about me being home all by myself. Then the letter stopped. You're like, Dad, I'm 10, it's fine. I'm just kidding. A whole month passed with no word. Father, they say Kyoto is full of ronin. It's not a safe place. Usually a samurai is paid by their house, but ronin who report to no house often rob people in order to make ends meet. They're nothing more than violent criminals who hide behind the image of the samurai. Such is the state of the city of Kyoto, the city of ronin. I know it's ronin, but whatever. We said that the first time. It's just easier to say. Small wonder then that I worried for my father. My mind would connect horrible possibilities, and I often found myself depressed and tense. First, I suppose I need to find a place to stay. I'm often thought I didn't notice nightfall descend. If I was honest with myself, I hadn't the faintest idea of how long searching for him would take. I'd brought a negligible sum of money with me, enough to last me a month if used wisely. Finding father in this window of time was a must. Otherwise, I'd have to depend on Dr. Masumoto returning in this time, or else I'd be forced to return home without a word. And technically, you're there for 4 fucking years and your father doesn't seem to give a shit. Like, wow. Like, seriously, 4 years, if you think about it, right? Dad left, blah, blah. 4 fucking years! Well, okay, no, because he technically knew at some point, like, early enough on, like, oh, she's with the Shinsengumi. Okay, stay back. Like, otherwise he probably would have come home if we had just stayed home and done nothing. And then we'd have been married off to Kazama, and not in the pleasant way where we were like, well, that's not bad. It would have been like, no, fuck you, ah! Or our brother would have stabbed, I don't know, something bad would have happened, so this is better. Well, at any rate, I should try and be as frugal as possible. I lengthened my stride and set off on my path. Fortunately for me, men's clothing assisted with keeping a quicker pace than women's. Kyoto presented many dangers to a young girl hoping to explore the city without direction. My disguise, such as it was, proved successful, and I'd safely made it all the way to Kyoto. Such success went to my head and led me to believe I could explore Kyoto as I pleased. But Kyoto is not a safe place. I should have remembered that. Instead, I had somehow convinced myself that the city's hidden dangers didn't apply to me. Hey, kid! I was about to discover otherwise. I spun around. In the street in front of me were 3 Ronin. Can I help you? I did my best to keep my voice calm, reaching nonchalantly for my kodachi. My father encouraged me to take sword lessons. I'd kept with them and I did rather well. Okay, riddle me this. Right now, she's probably scared. She's like, I kept my voice calm, but I kind of just put my hand on my kodachi like I'm ready to fight your asses. Like I'm probably going to lose, but right? She's got some motherfucking stones right now, right? She's like, I'm scared, but like, whatever. She's not like, I'm in a cower and someone help me. But then she goes and lives with the Shinsengumi and she becomes a motherfucking coward and can't fucking, like, he was staring at me and I couldn't even get near my sword. Again, she has moments, but for the most part, she's kind of fucking useless. Like, okay. This is the point before you have a bunch of sexy samurai men to protect your ass, or that you should have been learning from. They should have been training your fucking, like, bitch, I know you're doing chores, but you should fucking train so you know how to use that goddamn weapon, because, like, what the fuck? Like, you showed one bit of skill, like, in the beginning, like, Toido's like, yeah, okay, you're not terrible. You can probably defend yourself. And then you just never do. They should have been like, training so that by the end, even if you're weak and you can't fight, at least you're not like, I'm gonna hide in the corner. I just want this game redone with, like, her not being a fucking useless twig. You know what I mean? I just want her to be, like, badass. Like, come in and be like, yeah, kick your fucking ass. And they're like, I'm a little intimidated by you, woman. That's what I want. I'll be okay. Because every once in a while, like, shit, wait, there's oh, and then they saved your ass. Okay. Mutual saving. You know, every once in a while we save their ass instead of like, I'm going to defend him, but I mean, she tries. I know she tries, but it's still. Anyway, she's like being stronger here than she is in most of the game is all I'm saying. Like, whatever. I did rather well, but I never used that talent because I'm a weakling. I was confident enough in defending myself, which I will never use probably again. Unless I'm really angry and in a rage, which, okay, I get that, but most of the time, I'm so afraid. Girl, your father touched you have more of a backbone. I'm not saying that she would be able to, like, kick some samurai's ass. I'm just saying she's got stones right now. Like, I can probably defend myself. And later she's like, I can't do it at all. Like, girl, stop. No, don't. Don't be a weak little daisy. However, perhaps my overconfidence in myself is what served the situation at hand to me. It's okay. So I'd messed up and let my guard down. My fault. There was a chance I could take them on, but there were 3 of them and 1 of me. See, she's cocky. She's like, I could probably take them on, but I'm probably going to die. And later she's like, it's a bunny rabbit and it's staring at me. And I'm so scared. I need Okita to rescue me. I mean, that didn't actually happen, but I'm just saying it probably would have. It's really weird. Why did they give him a name? Ichiro. Why does Ichiro have a name? Why? Do we care? You're gonna die, dude. I don't give a shit. That's weird. Don't remember that from the beginning, but anyway. Pretty nice blade you got there, kid. Only then did I realize they were far more interested in my sword than they were in me. Ichiro? Jiro? The other guy's name Hiro? Because that'd be great. They rhyme. Looks like a bit much for a pup like this, right? Oh, Sapporo. But you know what's funny? That's Miki's name. Sapporo Miki. Is it Miki? That son of a bitch! No, she would recognize him and be like, that's an asshole trying to steal my shit. Like, give it here, okay? We'll put it to good use. But this sword wasn't just some blade I'd picked up. It was a family heirloom spanning generations. There was no way I could give it to the Ronin. Though I had a feeling they wouldn't understand. No, correction. They won't give a fuck. In such a situation, the best decision was undoubtedly to retreat! I turned and ran as fast as my legs could. Hey, get back here, you little bastard! Haha, they think I'm a boy. I'm not sure if that's good for my self-confidence or bad. Gosh, they sure don't give up easily, do they? Gosh. Shit! They sure don't give up easily, do they? We learned from Hijikata, okay? We're trying to impress him now. We're gonna start swearing. I felt like I'd been running for quite a while. I know. Oh, ladies when they swear. Look, if you can't handle a woman who swears like a sailor, you're obviously a dumb fuck, and you just should get the fuck out of my face. They say that people who swear are smarter. Like, sure. I'll go with that, because it makes me feel better about myself. Anyway, I feel like I'd been running for quite a while, but I could still hear the Ronin cursing loudly. I ducked into an alley, flattening against the wall. After deciding they weren't too close, I crept further into the alley. Someone left a couple sheets of wood leaning against one of the houses. Perfect hiding spot. What luck, I thought, kneeling down under them. This is my way to escape this mess. Huh? I was listening for sounds intently. A suspicious calm entered my mind. I'd expected to hear the Ronin yelling to each other, looking for me, but seconds turned into minutes. I heard nothing. I was about to sneak out and have a look when... Eek! I should make the men eek and ee! Aee! Eek! Oh! And like gasp like girls, just for funsies. Anyway, what? My plan to investigate was immediately halted. Remaining silent and hidden was more important. Smart girl. See, sometimes she does smart shit. She's not Darkwing ducking it yet. Still... Damn you! What is this? Why won't you die? Damn it! We gotta get out of here! It was then that true fear began to set in. There was something dangerous out there. Something quite possibly lethal. I think it's funny, though, that they give these random Ronin names, but every other time it's like Ronin 1, Ronin 2, random dude, and like they don't give those people names. My imagination conjured up no shortage of gruesome theories. Even so, I could feel an itch of curiosity. I wanted to know what was out there. Carefully, I peeked around the corner's edge. This is the first time we get to see Saito, Okita, and Hijikata, though, so this is good why we did this. The cold reflection of moonlight upon a blade glared at me, and my eyes followed it to the arm that held it, clad in a coat of light blue. Had this person saved me? But no slower than it appeared, my hope vanished. Help! I heard the Ronin stumbling to beg for his life. The person in the blue coat said nothing, just stepped forward, his sword raised. Oh, that's okay. I think that was enough Oz. A high screeching... Oh. A high screeching laugh cut the man's scream. Sounds like a creepy-ass hyena. The blade fell through the air like a butcher's knife, rather than a sword. No skill, just death. The scream turned wet, caught, and disappeared like air, leaving half-empty bellows. My eyes went wide. I just witnessed a murder. First of many. Any strength I'd received vanished quickly. My legs gave way and I crumbled to the ground. My eyes widened like busted shells. He died with the first blow, but as I watched, the blades fell, carving lines into the corpse. The soft slip of a blade through flesh. The silent creep of blood across ground. They got really, really good with the imagery on the death thing. You're like, I didn't quite need his intestines spilling out. I mean, gross. I felt nothing from them but madness. Their only desire was raw, animalistic violence. Whatever they were, it wasn't human. They were broken. I could feel my throat clenching tightly, and a warm, dark smell brushed against my face. I slowly recognized the coppery tang of blood. An icy bolt of fear ran down my spine, crawling into my limbs and freezing me in place. Hold on. Yes, thank you, Norton. Okay. Norton is currently performing security tasks in the background. Thank you! Anyway. I was terrified. What was I gonna do? What could I do? You have to run, Spacey. I forced my jaw open and drew a ragged breath. This was the only chance I'd get. I had to... Ah! My body, still numb with fear, was unresponsive. I lurched sideways against the stacked wood, and with a rough clatter, it collapsed. Well, you probably should have stayed still. Velociraptors. The creatures turned, coats drenched in blood. Their eyes locked with mine and bore into me. Hideous grins split their inhuman faces, shaking with excitement at prey to slaughter. And here's the thing, so you just are really hoping that there's no random person who's like up late peeking out the window like, the fuck are the Shinsengumi dudes doing? Dude, you know what I mean? Ah! I had to run. Couldn't die yet, but my legs refused to move. Their hideous, cackling laughter echoed. Okay. I understand at this point why she's like, I can't move, and I'm like, because you're frozen with fear, because this is not like 3 Ronin, you're like, I could probably take them, but you know what, I'm gonna run. This is more like, holy fucking shit, it's zombies, and there's nobody near you to trip, so it's not like you can push your friend and then maybe get away while they, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a zombie apocalypse, I'm tripping somebody, that's all I'm saying. I was going to die, and then I'm gonna promptly die afterward. It's gonna be for nothing. My body was frozen with terror. I couldn't even scream. This was it. This was the end. What? I watched them raise their bloody swords, the moon glinting off the metal. And then there was a flash of light and the soft splash of blood. I could feel it, warm and sticky. Ugh. Bile began to rise in my throat, but before disgust took hold, I heard a voice. Ah, it's Okita. Hello. Really? The words suggested disappointment, but the voice sounded happy. Oh, look at Okita. And here I was, planning to take care of them all. Can't you have picked another day to work fast, Saito? As he spoke, the strange man smiled, almost as if he were enjoying himself. Oh, look at Okita, our precious, beautiful cat-eyed baby. He does. He has, like, glowing green cat eyes. Oh, and Saito, my #1 boyfriend. These are, like, 3 of my top dudes, right? Sanan is the other top, is the 4, one of the top 4, but, like, seriously. I only did my job. Unlike you, I take no pleasure in battle. Yeah, Okita's kind of fucked up. Oh, that's not a very nice thing to say. He laughed. You don't even bother to deny it. The man called Saito's side with the air of a long-suffering companion and looked at me. I thought Hijikata... Okay, Hijikata's there in the anime, so that's why I thought he was here in this. I don't know. Maybe. But if you just sat back and let them kill the kid, you gotta save us some trouble. His tone was light, but it confirmed my fears. I may have escaped the schemes of the Ronin, but I was ensnared by something much darker. Perhaps. The decision is not ours to make. Huh? Then who was in charge of these two? The conversation led me to believe they were part of an organization. As I thought about it, I recalled hearing about men with blue coats. My thoughts were interrupted by a dark shape sliding into view. Okay, yeah, no. I was like, I thought Hijikata was here. Yeah. Because I remember this. And I was like, was that later in the beginning of the game? I thought he was here. And he's there in the anime. And I just, anyway. Oh. Yeah, oh. I swallowed hard. The moonlit shone off his smooth, dark hair. For reasons I couldn't fathom, in that moment, the light on his hair made me think of the wistfulness of flower petals. Yeah, she's like, I'm in love. It was almost as if the cherry trees were blooming out of season. Luck is not your friend tonight. His voice was cold and quiet, like a blade of ice. Blue-white moonlight lit his slender face and shone from the blade pointed at my chest. Can I just tell you, in the anime, the voices are so great. And my favorite, obviously, Hijikata and Saito are my favorites. Like, the voice, like, I just love it. But I especially love it because it's got to be the Japanese voice acting. They talk like this, so they're talking like this, and then when they get angry, they get like this, and they go, and you're like, I don't know. I swear to God, you could literally like yell at me in Japanese, and I'd be like, I'm okay with this. Like, I don't know what it is. And there's certain people, like there's certain voice actors that can do it, and you're like, God, when you get angry, it's just sexy. I can't help it. Like, I don't know what my problem is. I love it. Anyway. But it wasn't the sword making my breath catch. It was his eyes. They were fierce and hard. But somewhere behind them, I could catch a glimpse of something else. They're literally glowing. Like, all the rest of them have beautiful light, but his eyes are like literally glowing. I have glow in the dark shit that doesn't glow like that. Like, I mean, Jesus. Like otherworldly violet eyes. It's not natural. I'm okay with it though. I love it. There could be no doubt that he was prepared to kill me, and yet he looked troubled. Not kindness, but perhaps mercy? Run, and I will kill you. Do you understand? I nodded. There was no doubt he meant every word he said. He stared at me for a moment, then grimaced, put his sword away, sighing. He's probably like, I think I have to spare you because I'm pretty sure you're a chick. I'm not quite sure, but I think so. Like, drinks to that. You know, just him. What? I was too surprised to stop myself from speaking, and it quickly became apparent that I wasn't the only one. Wait, what? Wait, Hichikata, are you sure about this? This kid's, everything. That can't be good. As he spoke, the man he called Hijikata. As he spoke to the man he called Hijikata, his eyes narrowed. The man called Hijikata frowned back at him. Shut up. If you keep that up, you know what we're going to have to do. It was clear enough that what I'd seen was something they wanted to keep hidden. The more they said, the more I got it, and it was clear none of us wanted such a thing. I really think it's going to come back to bite us in the ass if we let this kid go. The way he looked at me made me feel as if he'd read my mind. So we should just kill people now? No. I'll see what to do with this kid when we get back. I agree with the commander. If we remain here, we're likely to be seen. Again. Then he looked down at the creature he'd killed, as though he'd forgotten the whole ordeal. If they have this sort of reaction to blood, then they don't seem like they'll be very practical. Damn. He peered down at the corpse, his face an emotionless mess. Damn! Fuck! I mean, he doesn't swear till a while, but I swear to God, the first time he swears again, it's going to be like swoon-worthy. I just love it. When he looked back up at his companions, however, his eyes narrowed. As for you two, drop the Hijikata and Commander Act. Keep a low profile. What? Come on, you can't be serious. Aren't our blues a bit of a giveaway? He was right. Even I had heard stories about a gang of cruel men in blue coats who cut people down in the streets, but I didn't know how to confront the dilemma of pretending I didn't see any of these horrors. My mind swirled through a pool of worries and thoughts, almost as if I was being drawn into their world. A world where there's nothing strange in carrying on a normal conversation in the dead of night with corpses for company. What shall we do with the bodies, then? And there doesn't seem to be any physical signs. Hijikata thought for a moment before he spoke. Just take their blues. Yamazaki can deal with the rest. Poor Yamazaki! He's like, God, I gotta look shit work. As you wish. Another man cut down in the street, huh? Doing a great job, aren't we? He gave a derisive bark of laughter. So long as we keep our mouths shut, I don't think anyone will know we were here. He looked directly at me, and I got the distinct feeling his words weren't for his companions. And you're like, I'm mute. And blind. I'm blind, deaf, and mute. So I saw nothing, heard nothing, and I can say nothing. Okay, bye. Can I go home now? It was common for people to be murdered in Kyoto. It was a dangerous city, after all. I knew that, of course. But to see it happen? That was something else entirely. If death was such an easy thing in Kyoto, I thought, then the city itself must surely be mad. Ah, yeah. We did save you, didn't we? Huh? I didn't realize right away he was speaking to me. When I did, my eyes went wide. What do you mean you saved me? Well, he did have a point. Despite their threats, they saved my life. I stood up as steadily as I could manage, brushed some dirt off my clothes, and bowed. Thank you very much. I apologize for not thanking you earlier. There was so much going on, I was a little confused. I glanced up at them tentatively. The man called Hajime also looked confused. Look at his eyes! He's like, the fuck? The man called Hajime. You don't know that he's called Hajime. You know that he's called Saito. They have never once called him Hajime this whole entire time. But anyway. His eyes were wide and he had an expression I couldn't place. Hijikata looked as though he'd taken a bite of something sour. It's pretty much his resting bitch face. I sighed deeply before continuing. I know it seems weird to say that, but he told me I should say thanks, so I looked up. Saito and Hijikata both stared pointedly at anything but me, and the third man was shaking with laughter. Oh man, well, my apologies. I certainly did tell you to, didn't I? He broke out in laughter again, so much so that he was forced to wipe a few tears from his eyes as he straightened up. Well, you're welcome. I'm Soji Okita. Nice to meet a kid who knows how to be polite. Thank you for helping me. Not quite sure what else to do, I bowed again. The one you should be thanking for saving you is Hajime Saito over here. And this bossy guy here is... What the hell do you think you're doing, Okita? Sir, I read your concerns, but we must move. Whatever mirth was inspired was gone. The man called Saito now spoke with quiet urgency. He's like, so like, I'm really happy right now. And you're like, really? I love him. He's the robot. We know this, but that's why I love him so much. The man named Okita grabbed hold of my wrist, smiled, and led us down the street. Hijikata's the marshmallow. Saito is the robot. Okita is the cocky asshole. He's the stabby one, because he's the one that would literally kill you on purpose and be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Threatens to kill you. He doesn't actually try it, but... His grip was a touch too tight to be friendly. His fingers like iron cables around my arm. There's no question about my situation. I was fucked. I quickly picked up on the notion that if I were to run, I would be killed. Instantly. My life was in the hands of these strange men. I set my jaw and stood up as straight as I could. My eyes crept up from the blood-stained coat and met Saito's gaze. It would be best if you prepared for the worst. I doubt this will end well for you. His words were like a dagger in my stomach. What's going to happen to me? Was I going to die? As we walked through the bleak Kyoto night, I felt horror crawl its way up my spine once again. The cause of my horror wasn't the gruesome end that awaited me, but something else entirely. I spoke with these men and watched them speak, standing next to a warm corpse soaked in blood. That I had done such a thing terrified me in an altogether different way. Perhaps this is what it's like to go mad. Oh yay, we get the theme song again, guys! We're gonna let it play, because we could skip it. It's copyrighted, but it's copyrighted to the point where we can at least put it in the game, so that's fine. And I love this. It gets me hyped to play this game, and it's like fucking long, but I love it. Every time I load this game. But you can tell that Hijikata's the main guy, right? Because they kind of go through every, and then they just go like zoom in right to him, and it's like, hey, 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 this is your dude right here. Like, plus, he's the first one, right? They're like, hey, 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 this is your guy right here. I just love how their hair waves. I was thinking of this before when I loaded. I just love it. The hair waves. I wish the CGs did that. Ah, my other top two. Okay, top four, but like, my top three are right there. I do love Harada, though. Like, he's fucking pretty. Persona just gets thrown in the back. I love him. I don't know. He's like such, they make him like a side character, but he's such a great one. I love him. Like, I don't know. I do. I love the glasses characters. They're my favorites. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter at all. Koto's the only one who, like, nothing moves on him because he's got no hair. Like... But see, like, that CG, we just got that. Their hair doesn't move. I wanted to, though. I wish it did in the CGs. I just want to see the hair waving in the CGs. I love it. Oh, Ryoma. It was fucking Sebastian from Black Butler. Speaking of, like, I forgot the name of it. But I started watching this other anime, and there was a game of it, but it was only on like the PSP. Like they don't have it like, and it was never put in English, but it needs to be because it came out in 2013. It's like 5 years old, but they should still fucking localize it because it would be goddamn amazing. And like, I'm watching it, right? And one of the first characters comes out and he starts talking, and I was like, dude, this so totally sounds like fucking Sebastian. Totally fucking just has that. And I looked it up. Totally is. I was like, I don't even know. I would think that was just a lucky guess, but I was like, oh my god. Oh my god, it's great. I gotta remember what the name of it is and I'll tell you, but like anyway. Was it morning? What happened to me? I attempted to recollect myself. Ah, yes. Right. All at once, the events of the previous night rushed back to me. Hold on. I'm gonna find it for you. It's in Japanese, obviously, but I'm gonna find it on my, I'm gonna find it on my Crunchyroll list. For you. Let's go into my queue. Because I've been watching it. Kamigami no Asobi. It's fucking great. It literally, like... It's literally about a girl who gets, like, sucked into, like Zeus fucking, like, kidnaps her ass. And is like, you have to go to school with these, like, gods. And there's, like, Japanese gods, there's Greek gods, like, whatever. And they're all hot as fuck. And, like... And in, like, the game, you're like, I get to romance them all. Ah! But, of course, there's no game. But, there is a game. But it's in Japanese. But I'm like... If I can fucking, I swear to God, I'm like creating a list of like games in Japanese that like, if I ever go to Japan and I can find this shit, I'm buying it, I don't care. Like if I can learn to read Japanese. But it's fucking great. And like, so she's like now at this school and they have to like learn about humanity. Like she's there to like kind of help them learn about humanity and whatever. And it's so fucking good. And Hades is fucking Sebastian. It's so fucking hilarious. I sit there, I'm like, I love this. I watched like 4 episodes one night. I'm like, I have to go to bed for what I don't care. I stayed up late watching it. I couldn't help it. Oh my God, it's so funny. Because he's always like, don't come near me. I'll only cause you misery. No, get down. Good boy. He's in the kitchen. He's like, I will only cause you misery. And he's always like so moody and miserable. But it's so great because all you can hear is you're like, yeah. And he's you're like, yeah, it's Sebastian. But instead of being like, I'm gonna fucking hurt you, it's more like, please stay away from me. It's like, it's just great. I love it. Oh, I love it. It's great. Anyway, so that was that. Random rant. Anyway. All at once, the events of the previous night rushed back to me. This isn't my room. My limbs were snugly bound in tight knots, so all I could do was wriggle around in bed, twisting the blankets around me. Oh, also side note. I'm like, I was trying to look and see if there were any like what are like, you know, Otome games coming out, and this was supposed to have come out this year. They need to localize more of these. I don't understand why. I think there was like almost a dozen fucking Otome games coming out in Japan just from Automate, which is the Design Factory, Idea Factory. It's their Otome like branch. It does most of them. Almost a dozen of them coming out this year. From hello. What the fuck? We're lucky if we get an... Oh my God, there's so much shit. Oh, why don't we localize more? Anyway, that's my rant. Oh. Localize more of them, Idea Factory. Oh, come on. Axis can do some. Idea Factory International can do some. I'll volunteer to do some. It'll take me a while because I don't know Japanese, but I'll figure it out, motherfucker. That would be amazing. I would totally get a job, like, fucking translating games. But I'd be like, but I'm only doing the Otome games. I'm not gonna do your RPG bullshit for dudes, because fuck that shit. Guys have enough games. Women need more games, okay? Guys have enough fucking games. Like, well, I'm playing this game and this girl's got tits the size of her head. I mean, even anime. Even, is it my anime list? I don't know. There's like over 1,000, what are like 1,600 fucking, like, romance categorized anime. And you scroll through, and I literally didn't read through everyone. I'm like looking at the cover picture, like that's what's going to intrigue me, right? And I'm like, boobs the size of your head, boobs the size of your head, boobs. They're like a majority of them are for dudes. Like, oh my god, it's this boy, and there's all these girls with boobs the size of their head. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? We can't even get fucking animes for us. Oh my god. I know the reverse harems. That's all I want, motherfucker! I just want pretty boy. I don't even care. I will even watch some of them. I'm like, oh, okay, it's a guy romancing guys. I don't care. I'll watch the shit out of that. It's a bunch of hot guys. Like, hot dudes. That's all I want. Like, but I don't want to, like, fucking watch, like, they're romancing cute girls, but the girls' boobs are always the size of their head, and you're like, oh, they're probably all dumb as fuck. Like, no, I can't do this. Like, I could if they were all kick-ass characters, and there was, like, a male heroine or hero, because obviously it wouldn't be a heroine, right? Who was, like, useless as fuck. Reverse the genders in this. It'd be great. I'd still play the shit out of that. I'm totally useless! And they'd be like, we're gonna fucking kill, like, Amazons? I'd play that game. I would. I'd play a Romancy Otome game where there was, like, a weak-ass man, like, in the fucking tribe of Amazons, and they were like, fucking kill you if you try to run. Yeah! That would be fun! There's nothing like that. There should be! Spacey has great ideas. Oh, anyway. My limbs were snugly bound in tight knots, so all I could do was wriggle around the bed, twisting the blankets around me. I'm just saying this is why I'm learning Japanese, because I've got so many fucking games that we can play. I yearned for the comfort of my own futon, but the futility of such thoughts only forced me to confront the reality of my situation. And I want to go to Japan, and I'm going to have to save thousands and thousands of dollars just to come home with all the Otome games. Came home with 50 Otome games, guys. If only I could wake from this strange nightmare. But I couldn't. Those men from the night before must have taken me with them. To the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. What'll happen to me now? I inhaled deeply, lying down to await my fate. It was at that moment that the door slid open and a kind-looking man stepped through. Oh, in a way, I'm so glad you're not dead.
Ah, I see you finally awoken. This is no way to treat a guest of ours. Please wait, I'll loosen the ropes, alright?
His smile quirked as he removed my ropes. My wrists, however, were left bound. And you are?
Of course, how improper of me. My name is Genzaburo Inoue.
Thank you, Inoue.
Now, if you would follow me. They've been discussing what to do with you since morning. For now, they've decided to hear about what exactly it was you saw last night.
Nothing! Correct answer. Okay. I nodded curtly and struggled to stand up, but my body was sore from being bound up all night. Inoue treated me with something like courtesy, but it was clear that I was in a lesser position. He must have been able to guess my thoughts, however, because he smiled at me and winked.
I know they seem scary, but they're truly gentlemen. You don't need to worry.
Oh, even at home I heard rumors of the vicious Shinsengumi that were unflattering. It was hard to imagine that the people in charge of such an organization were gentlemen. I mean, okay. Some of them actually know you're a girl, and if they weren't gentlemen, well, I'm just saying.
The youngest man, Toto, is about your age, or perhaps slightly older. And there are a pair of guys named Nagakura and Harada who are very lively, so you'll be fine.
Despite Inoue's reassurances, it was difficult for me to trust what I was hearing is accurate. Excuse me. Inoue led me to a room and opened the door. Excuse me, you're basically walking the dog. Your wrists are bound. He's like carrying you on a chain, like dragging you along. You're like, excuse me, you're walking in as a prisoner. I'm like, that's weird. Anyway, I stepped inside and found myself surrounded by the leaders of the Shinsengumi. Their eyes dug into me like sharp knives. I stared before me and then gulped nervously. Good morning! I take it you slept well. Well, it wasn't particularly comfortable. Is that so? Because when I went to have a look at you earlier, you didn't budge, no matter what I poked. You were knocked out cold, and you looked snug and cozy in your sleep, no matter what I poked. Pervert. Pervert! You would be the one. What? What? He's only teasing you. Soji didn't go anywhere near your room. Quite silent, I stared at Okita. With his grin still spreading along his face, he glanced over to Saito. I just wanted to see you squirm a little. Not very nice of you, Hajime, calling me out like that. I don't think Saito did anything wrong. You, on the other hand. And Hijikata's like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And you're like, I know, keep my mouth shut, but I'm a girl. I'm always gonna be like, you're an asshole. What the fuck? I know, I can't. Shut it. You sound like a bunch of kids. Hichikata's voice broke no further insubordination. Okita shrugged and fell silent, but the smile lingered through his bright eyes. Anyway, so Hijikata, this is your witness. I don't know who's saying that. The man who spoke was... Well, he looked more like a boy than a man. Okay, that would be Heisuke then. Maybe this is the youthful Shinsengumi captain that Inoue was describing to me. I'd imagine the leaders of the Shinsengumi to be older, maybe even middle-aged men, but their faces were still blessed with youth. In fact, one might even confuse them at first glance for a gang of bohemian thugs.
He's a real stick, huh? Just a kid. You're calling him a kid, Heisuke? That's rich.
I know it's technically Heisuke, but I can't. We've called him Heisuke from the very beginning. I kind of fucked it up, so we're stuck with it anyway. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Harada, but anyway, we'll just pretend it is. Right, you are. To anyone else, I'll bet you two look like a sad pair of scrawny little brats. I'm the only one who gets to call him out on... Oh.
I'm the only one who gets to call him out on being scrawny punks, because I'm a mature adult and all.
Mature adult? Anything that comes out of your mouth is basically nonsense, Shinpachi. Two nearby men replied to Toto with very mocking but light-hearted tones. I somewhat recalled Inoue's description of the two energetic members. His mention of them was brief, but seeing them in person was an eye-opening experience. He said the short-haired one was Nagakura. Well, he didn't actually say that. He just said Nagakura and Harada, but... Anyway. And the other, with longer hair, was Harada.
Leave off, you grumpy old bastards. The hell I will, boy. You think you can get away with talking to us like that?
Besides, I'm hardly mature enough to be called old. Shinpachi maybe, but not me.
You son of a bitch. Oh, we were friends.
Come on, Shin. When an adult gets so worked over something like that? Their back and forth rapport seemed developed into a rhythm from years of friendship, which predated my arrival and made me foreign here. I sensed something apart from curiosity towards me, though, like a feeling of animosity. Despite their cheerful levity, they hadn't forgiven my presence among them. Suddenly, I wanted very much to go home. I wanted to leave this place and never return. My chest tightened and I stared down, hoping to wake up in bed with all of this only a memory, or only a dream. And I apologize for all this frightening behavior. Please, don't let the man unsettle you. Oh, his voice was calm and warm, and I felt myself relax, even if only a little bit. Are you serious? You're the scariest out of all of us, Sonnen. Scariest, right? He will be, but as he finished speaking, the rest of the men nodded solemnly in agreement. It's funny, because in the anime, they say something, like, after Sonnen, like, takes, like, the serum. And they're like, he's always seems so nice and whatever. Yeah, but his heart's, like, black. Like, and you're like, what? Like, they're just like, oh, he's always so nice and calm and, like, talkative. And like, yeah, but he's got a black heart. It just paints such a different picture of Sonnen. Like, oh, I'm so nice. Okita threatens to kill you, but I will be the one to stab you in your sleep. like, oh, shit, it's a mask you didn't think he was wearing, right? That's the glasses. Always hides a mischievous bastard. He's the glasses everything. It's a mix. I wondered, who could possibly command such fear and respect from these men? Oh, how crude. I can understand their feelings, but for our demon of a commander to feel such as well. It's up to me to hold the integrity of the Shinsengumi to our highest standard. It is easy to be confused, however, when our standards, or rather our taboos, are at the mercy of our own Hijikata. It is true, but now isn't the time to be talking about this. And the man called Sonnen and Hijikata stared at one another with a smirk.
You're lucky to have a friend like Sonnen, Toshi.
Hijikata and Sonnen sounded distant when they spoke to one another. Not exactly friendly. Still, the man who spoke had certainly sounded as though he thought they were friends. Because Kondo is, like, totally confused about everything. I love him. Oh, Dad, you don't know anything.
Oh, my apologies. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Masami Kondo. Chief of the Shinsengumi.
Kondo. Say his name right, Spacey. When you say chief, do you mean to say you're the most important man in the Shinsengumi? Well, I wouldn't call myself the most important. It's more accurate to say I represent everyone. Toshi over there is the commander, and Sonnen is our colonel. Kondo, why are you telling him all this? Oh, why? You think it's a bad idea? I love it. He's so innocently oblivious to everything. Well, unless you think this kid should learn our secrets, maybe you should keep your mouth shut. Exactly. Why bother anyway? We owe him nothing. Perhaps you all raise good points. But isn't it rude to ignore your guests? Harada glanced over at Kondo and let out a bark of laughter. True! We've already brought him here. It's not like telling him will hurt us. Kondo had looked rather disappointed when Hijikata spoke, but he perked up at Harada's words. Despite knowing him for 5 minutes, it's easy to see that his words resonated well with his men. He had a sort of charisma that simply drew you in. A man who was impossible to hate. Well, let's get back to the business at hand. Can you get me a full report of last night? Last night we were on patrol when we encountered some wandering Ronin. They drew steel, so we fought. Some of our men subdued the Ronin, but in doing so, exposed their failure. As he finished, Saito turned to look at me. I didn't see anything. Even with my insistence, Hijikata continued to stare at me with a harsh glance. That's why it's going to be so good when we romance the pants off of him. Saito remained expressionless, and the smile on Okita's face didn't change. Huh? You sure you didn't see anything? Yes, I didn't see anything. Really? Well, if that's true, then I don't see what the problem is. Hold on a minute. I thought Soji said you helped out some of our men or something. No, that's not true. I glanced over at Okita, but his smile remained. Whatever he was thinking was a mystery to me. I was running away from the Ronin. Then some people with Shinsengumi uniforms appeared. Really, they sort of rescued me. Then that means you saw them slicing up those Ronin, right? No, I was hiding behind a piece of wood. I was hiding, I just heard it. Couldn't exactly deny that. However, I knew that choosing to stay silent would implicate me deeper than lying would. So, in other words, you actually saw everything. The whole ugly business. You got an honest heart. That's not really a bad thing, but... I wasn't sure what to make of Harada's words. My presence seemed bad for the Shinsengumi. No, it's bad for you. Would their next words be ones condemning me to death for being at the wrong place and time? My voice shook, but I knew I had to try. I won't tell anyone, I promise! It seems unlikely this attack was mere chance. Yet it seems unlikely, too, that you're an enemy. Despite your good intentions, you could be taken for interrogating. Could you handle torture? No! You're looking at me weird and I can't handle it. No. That's my whimpering. There you go. His voice was still warm, but his words were cold, and I began to feel my chances at life slip away. Staying quiet is easy, but if you were captured, you'd have no loyalty to us or our secrets. Yeah, we have no way of verifying your word. It wouldn't be very smooth. It wouldn't be very smooth. Wouldn't be very smart to just let you go. Let's just kill the kid. You want to keep someone quiet, that's the only sure way. But... Don't be so cold, Soji. We don't... What do we gain by murdering a civilian? Thank you. Don't give me that look. I was just kidding. Perhaps it should have sounded like it. After being rebuked by Saito, Okita gave a playful smile.
But surely there must be something we can do. After all, we're talking about a child.
Like, I'm totally young. Yes, I'm absolutely a child. I've no wish to kill him either, but ignoring the unlikelihood of his trustworthiness is foolish. Well, I would like to hear the commander's opinion. What do you say, Commander Hijikata? The men looked to Hijikata, listening intently. He sighed and glanced around the room. Last night we killed members who broke our code. This kid should not have been involved at all. I imagine that puts an end to the matter for you. Well, probably saw something, but I doubt he really understands what it was. Even so, this is serious. We have bigger things to consider. We have to keep this under wraps. If rumors break that soldiers of the Shinsengumi are thirsty for blood, it'd be problematic. I'd be like, they were what now? And he's like, well, I didn't know that. Shinpachi's words made sense to everyone. Ichikana's face looked grim. Hey, watch your mouth. It's our responsibility to regulate our warriors who violate our code. They'll be dealt with. Well, it doesn't change the fact that this kid saw something. I think Soji has a point, but still, I'll do what Hijikata and Kondo tell me to. I think we ought to let him go. He doesn't know everything, you know? What do you mean, everything? Oh, Spacey, shut up. I couldn't help but wonder aloud, and the mood in the room shifted to an icy silence. Never mind, forget I asked. Shut it, Heisuke. Oops, my bad. Uh-oh. Well, this is gonna make it even harder for us to simply let you go. Man should always be ready to face death. You should make your peace with yours. Raise his hand. But no penis? So no? Man. Oh, that's right. They still believed me to be a boy. With everything else that had happened, I'd completely forgotten how I was dressed. Very true. A brave death is always an option. When I was young, I committed honorable suicide. Didn't really stick, though, did it, Sano? The jokes were barbaric, but they both broke into raucous laughter. Commander, since we can't seem to reach a consensus, can I send the child back to his room? If you hear something you shouldn't while you're here, I'll have no choice but to kill you. He was right. If I remained with them, then I could easily hear something I wasn't supposed to. I didn't think he'd mentioned it for my sake, but rather as a possible concern for their group. I was still relieved when he brought it up. Indeed. Let's do that. Was there something I want to look into? I agree. There are too many careless men here. Come on, Sonnen! What are you looking at me for? That ought to be pretty obvious. We're all guilty of being careless. Especially you, Heisuke. Hey! Back off! It was just a mistake, alright? I could hear Toto's voice rise as everyone turned to look at him. He looked at them for a bit, then turned to me and mumbled in a voice I could barely hear. I'm sorry. I was still apprehensive about what they might do to me, so I couldn't quite respond to him well. But he seemed to understand, and I curtly managed to nod. It was the most I could manage. All right, Saito. Take care of the kid. Noted. Shall we go? All right. In the anime, what I really like is like Hijikata's like, get him out of my face! Basically, like, get rid of the kid. And Saito basically just grabs her and drags her and just throws her in her room. And it's like, if you run, I'll fucking kill you. Like, basically said, and you're like, Saito, you're so violent. I love it. And he's so much nicer in the game. The game, he's like, let's go. Are you ready? And you're like, okay. You're like, When it happened in the anime, I was like, wait, I don't remember him dragging us and throwing us. That's an Okita shit. Like, that's what he would do. Like, throw us and, like, jab us really, like, punch us in the stomach really hard and be like, oh, whoops, accident. Like, because he's kind of a dick, but Saito is so much nicer to us. Anyway. After returning to my room, I'd spent some time reflecting upon my state and my still-bound hands. The rumors spoke of the Shinsengumi as vicious men, but they seemed more intimate, human to me. Still, their presence, or their being, lingered through me as if to say, we're not killers, but to protect our code we must bring death. Remaining here is only bringing me closer to the possibility of them killing me. I don't know if I can convince them to spare me. Just as I've no loyalty to them, they have no loyalty to me. Only the Shinsengumi. But then, they mentioned a man must always be ready to face death. So are they still mistaking me for a man? They kept saying he, but I knew in Japanese they wouldn't have been saying that. But could I possibly risk exposing my true identity in exchange for mercy on my life? But this could just as easily backfire for me, and it could exact an even worse fate. I was truly at a loss for what to do. Find a way to escape! There was nothing for it. I had to try and escape, meaning I needed to get moving immediately. Staying in this room did nothing to help me. Fortunately, they hadn't bothered to tie me up completely again. Only my hands were bound. That would slow me down, certainly. But so long as I could move my legs, I stood a chance. All right. Now the exit is... I cast my memory back to when they'd brought me into the building the night before. Right. I'm sure it would work out. I stood up. Holding my breath, I edged toward the door. I knew it was rude, but I had no choice but to try and open the sliding door with my toe. But I was almost there when suddenly it flew open all on its own, revealing.
What?
Ah! I stumbled straight into Kondo. Oh my. Well, that was rather bold. You were looking to escape, I assume. Attempting to escape was unwise. It'll only make your situation more difficult. His voice was calm and not unfriendly, but his eyes were frigid and calculating. Too late I realized why they hadn't bothered to tie me up again. They'd been watching me.
I told you once, and I won't do it again. Run and I'll gut you.
Sorry, but now we've got to kill you. We can't trust a kid who can't keep a promise. Okita smiled. He didn't look very sorry. I think it's really funny that we have to, like, try to escape, and then we have to run for it, and that makes Hijikata fucking love us. He's like, it's supposed to be like, okay, I'm going to be honorable and sit here and then explain my situation. Running for it, he's like, turns me. I would think running for it, Okita would be like, yeah, so I can fucking kill you now. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, he didn't look very sorry. He never does. I ran for it. I had no choice but to run. If I was going to die anyway, then I had nothing to lose by trying to escape. Slipping around a stunned Kondo, I took off down the hallway.
Did you really think you could escape?
He snatched me from the floor in one smooth motion with cat-like grace. Let me go!
You think I'm stupid? You'll just try to run. No.
But I don't want to die! And there's something I have to do!
Huh. And what's that, huh? What compels a girl to run around Kyoto pretending she's a boy?
Huh? Did he just say girl? When I stopped flapping my feet and arms, Hijikata put me back down on the floor. Sir, I looked up at Hijikata and he did not seem happy at all. He never seems happy, sweetie. This is his happy face. Did you just say girl? I was scared. There was no denying it. Sanan looked at us and nodded. I see. Then you really were a girl.
Come on! You thought putting on a pair of pants was gonna fool us? Even an idiot could tell.
Wait, so all of you knew from the start? Was my disguise that unnatural? I wasn't quite sure what to think.
Oh! You saw me, Kondo! You fool! This is a shame of a lifetime! How could I not have realized?
Well, perhaps they hadn't all known. I confess his reaction put me more at ease.
You almost got killed for it, whatever it is. Maybe it's time you spilled your guts, kid.
I don't want to spill my guts. Oh, you meant tell you. See, you gotta... Phrasing, Hijikata. You just said you're gonna spill my guts, and now I gotta spill my guts. I don't wanna.
It's like I fucking love you.
Ah, yay! Anyway, I looked back at him and nodded. Whatever you say, babes. There I was, surrounded once again by the leaders of the Shinsengumi.
I noticed you were rather slim, and your features were far too soft to be a man's. But I think you were a lady this whole time.
Kondo was nodding his head repeatedly as if he were agreeing with a very intelligent suggestion. For him to notice the softness of my features, it flattered me a bit.
Once you know she's a girl, she really doesn't look like a boy at all, does she?
Well, so we bound her and left her for the whole night? Oh dear.
This way, in a way, has an old man voice.
Oh no, that's inappropriate. So rude.
Well, she claims to be a girl. It's not like we have any actual proof, right?
But proof? Proof? Really? It's not obvious enough for you, huh? Alright, will you feel better if I strip her down?
No, you absolutely will not. To suggest such a thing is preposterous.
Thank you for standing up for us. Jesus. I just figured it was the quickest way to settle the question. The question? The question. But I won't force it. Harada. Fuck my life. You were, like... You could have been number 5, but you know what? When you say things like that, it's like, whoa, 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 buddy. Back it up a little. I'll strip for Hijikata. It's fine. It's okay. Not for all of you. I'll take Hijikata in the back. I'll strip for him and it'll be fine. Anyway.
Well, if you really are a girl, then killing you would just feel kind of wrong. Why are you so naive? Doesn't matter. If we have to kill her, she dies.
Exactly. If we have to kill her, she dies. That's usually what happens if you have to kill someone, they die. But thinking that was translated a little wonky, but anyway. Exactly. However, her gender is irrelevant. Killing in general is wrong. We were organized to protect the citizens of Kyoto. We would ill serve the public good by murdering civilians in cold blood. Yeah. But if this girl or boy is a threat to the peace, that's a horse of a different color. The Shinsengumi had already suffered a very gruesome reputation in Kyoto. If rumors spread that their men were thirsty for blood, things weren't likely to go well for them. Kyoto would banish them, and with no one to protect the people, the city would erupt into chaos. Each of their members deeply understood the consequences of behaving rashly in these times. My apologies. I took the liberty of checking through your belongings. It would appear you came all the way from Edo. By yourself. You didn't seem to have much, some clothing, some pocket change, a few letters, and this sword. One of the letters was from Ryojin Matsumoto, a Shogunate-approved doctor. I assume you saw him. What is your purpose, Spacey Yukamura? The minute my name was spoken, the vibe in the room shifted immensely. Everyone wore a stunned expression, eyes wide, and no words were uttered in response until... Wait, Hijikata! The name! Hey now, this can't be a coincidence. Now wait a moment. We only need to determine if you're a threat. Will you tell us your side of the story? At Kondo's behest, I stood up to speak. My name is Spacey Yukamura. Under the watchful eyes of the leaders, I sharply described how I came to face them, how I lived in Edo, how I'd come to Kyoto to find my father, how lonely the city felt before I arrived. Oh, then you're from Edo as well, and you came all the way to Kyoto to find your father? So who is your father? My father was Koto Yukamura. So, the dots are connected. What are you talking about? The handwriting within the letter does indeed match Koto's, but to think you were Dr. Koto's daughter. You know my father? The silence was enough to tell me that the revelation of my parentage caused a pronounced change in their behavior. So you've been withholding information from us? Huh? What information are you talking about? What? There's no point in lying to us now. Out with it. The hell are you doing in Kyoto? I just came to look for my father. I swear I don't know anything else. You came to the city fully aware of what your father Koto was doing? I was only aware that my father being in Kyoto for his medical work, but I haven't seen him since last summer. That's all I know. Ichigata, it may be better for us not to press, because she may not know anything after all. So what do you know about my father? Where is he right now? Please tell me. The Shinsengumi is currently attempting to determine the whereabouts of Dr. Koto Yukamura. You're after my father? So this means... Oh no, you got us all wrong. We're not, after him. I see. A huge wave of relief came over me. He's a fellow supporter of the Shogun. But well, he sort of disappeared a little while ago. There's a reasonable chance that the enemies of the Shogun have identified him as a threat. I let out an audible gasp, but Saito continued without paying me any mind. There is, of course, the chance he's still alive. Doctors skilled in Western medicine are quite rare. I wasn't sure what else to do, so I nodded. My heart pounded in my chest, threatening to burst onto the floor. Kondo, what do you make of her situation? Would it be in our interest to help her, seeing as we are looking for the same person? What exactly do you mean, help her? I only mean to say we should cooperate with her until we find Koto. With her assistance, I'm sure our chances of locating Koto will increase drastically. Look at that son, is being nice. He's like, we shouldn't kill her. We should. And I'm like, yeah. Huh? Looking for him may prove fruitless, however. If he's in disguise, spotting him will be difficult. You are his daughter, however. You want to recognize him no matter how he may have disguised himself, yes? Yes, of course. No? But okay. I nodded as I spoke, while giving him what I hoped seemed like a steady, reassuring smile. Looks more like a creepy grimace. Anyway. Besides, having her stay with us regardless can be of use to our headquarters. What do you say, Toshi? Sounds making a lot of sense. If it turns out she doesn't know anything after all, then... It's true. All I know is that my father headed to Kyoto, but I don't know anything else. And about last night, I didn't see anything.
Well, she is his daughter. Can't really kill her, can we?
His eyes narrowed as he looked down at me.
If you promise to keep last night's secret, we'll let you stay until your father is found. Fair? Oh, I promise the Shinsengumi will do whatever they can to help you find Dr. Kodo.
Thank you so much. I never imagined something like this. I was elated to have escaped death, but not only had I survived, but I'd found my first decent lead.
You must be glad we won't be killing you, huh? Well, won't be killing you just yet at any rate.
He gave me that same wolfish grin. There was no denying that my situation was still less than desirable, but it didn't matter for now. Yes, I'm very glad. Against all odds, at last, I'd found help where I'd never expected it. The Shinsengumi. First day in Kyoto was quite the adventure. In spite of everything I'd seen, my fortune was improving with every step. I still had a long way to go. Keeping positive was my only hope.
Aren't you relieved, Yukamura? It's a pleasure to have you.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure for me as well.
Hey, Gin, with her being a lady after all, I'm not sure that our all-male household is equipped for her needs.
You bring up a good point. What would you have me do?
Kondo crossed his arms and thought deeply. Should you require anything, you need only ask. We'll do what we can to accommodate you. Thank you.
Well, I guess we'll have to be nicer to you now that we know you're a girl.
Gee, it'd take long for you to change your tune when you saw she was a girl, eh, Shin?
Whatever. Having a lady here at headquarters is sure gonna brighten things up, won't it? I wasn't entirely sure I believed that sentiment. I know we're over time, but I wanted to, wrap this, at a good stopping point. But this conversation keeps going. But anyway, I'm not sure if our headquarters are up to standards for a lady, however. Then again, she's not a soldier, so we cannot expect to treat her as such.
And make her a page or something? Want an assistant, Kondo? How about you, Sonnen?
Oh, come on now, Hijikata. It's your idea, so you can't just pawn her off on somebody else.
Oh, excellent! We can entrust Toshi with her.
I love it. Well, there you have it, Hijikata. I hope you'll take good care of her.
You sons of bitches! You can't just decide! You sons of bitches!
As I watched their back and forth, some of my earlier relief began to ebb away. And this is how the Shinsengumi had come to look after me. Oh, I love that.
You sons of bitches!
Oh, that's our first Hijikata swearing experience. Anyway. February 1864. We're going to wrap this part up here. And when we come back, we'll continue. So, yay! We're in Hijikata's world, guys. I can't wait till we get to the end. I just want to skip through the first 4 chapters and get to the end. But anyway. We're going to read the whole thing through. Because that's what we do. And it's actually good because, you're like, I don't know what the fuck was going on. So, maybe we'll know what the fuck is going on. But anyway. I'll see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.